PRS took it away from us, and then the other year gave it back to us in the SE line. But now for the 40th anniversary of Paul Reed Smith, straight from the swamps of the Mississippi, coming back to the core line, we have the Swamp Ash Special. Feast your eyes on the brand new 2025 40th anniversary PRS Swamp Ash Special. Right out of the bag, I love the lines on this, man. Telling my fortune, you will be broke because you need to buy another Paul Reed Smith. No lies! But not lies, kind of true. Got this beautiful light piece of ash in this scarlet smoke burst color. Two 5815 low turn pickups with toggle to tap switches over here. One narrow field in the middle, a 22 fret maple neck with these shadow birds inlaid on there with a nice satin nitro finish to the neck itself. And you got these phase 3 open back tuners. I like the scarf joint on this thing. This actually makes the neck stronger cut this way. It's light. This is under 7 pounds. Swamp Ash can be all across the board as far as weight. By the way, every time I say Swamp Ash, I think of Swamp Ash, as if I was Sean Connery. I can't help it. Here's the Swamp Ash Special, Indy. I can tell you, if I go down into the Mississippi swamp, I would probably have Swamp Ash too. So what is swamp ash? It's not so much the species of ash as it is how the ash is grown. So in marshy or swampy waters where the roots themselves are in the water, namely the Mississippi River. It is the lightest ash and most resonant ash that there is. It's becoming a lot more scarce. Companies like Fender have said that they are no longer making guitars out of swamp ash. Apparently PRS has got the woods! And not only are you seeing it in the core line, but the other year they brought it back to the SE line. But there's some things that are slightly different. And obviously, if you haven't seen my video where I pimp this guitar out, this is not stock. The core model has a patterned regular neck, and the SE model has the wide, thin neck. Except upon reflection, they're pretty much the same. In fact, when I measured the necks, they're almost identical up to the 12th fret. So it's kind of interesting that the SE says wide, thin, and the core says pattern regular, and they feel the same to me. The good thing is that they both feel awesome. The SE actually has the abalone birds, whereas the core version has the shadow birds. Swamp ash has been coveted for so long, it has a cachet, if you will, as being one of the greatest tone woods out there. I know that when I say tone wood out there, that some people just start clenching their teeth and looking at me like, you flat earther, the moon landing was faked. Does the type of wood you use for the body of a guitar matter at all as far as the sound? I don't know, but what I can tell you is that when I play my swamp ash guitars, they sound, to me, like swamp ash. It's weird. Swamp ash sounds like swamp ash. Now I really like the fact that this has the 5815 LT pickups. 58 in the 5815 stands for 1958, as in PAFs made in 1958. And the 15 stands for 2015, when Paul decided to come out with the 5815s. So very simple, the 5815s are meant to embody the awesomeness of 1958 PAFs. Now understand, PAF humbuckers, which are certainly the gold standard for many, they've always been highly inconsistent. So if you get a Gibson from 1957 versus one from 1958 versus one from 1959 versus one from 1960, they could all sound a little different. It has become almost a religion for some people to recreate the sound of those early PAF humbuckers. Now, not only is it the 5815, but it's now the 5815 LT, which stands for low turn. Means less whines. Some PAFs were mighty hot. In this case, these are supposed to be kind of more mellow. Now, in the middle position, you have a narrow field pickup. It's not a single coil. It's not a mini humbucker. It's a narrow field. The idea is it's supposed to embody a little bit of a P90, some of the characteristics of a single coil, and a lot of the characteristics of a mini humbucker. It's certainly most closely related to a mini humbucker because despite its small presence, it's a humbucker. So it bucks the hums. You have a 5-way switch and 2 mini toggles that will tap the pickups. If I'm doing my math right, you get 12 different sounds out of here. That's a lot of different choices. Certainly more than I've ever seen on the Swamp Ash Special in the past. Now, to understand the Swamp Ash Special, we should understand where it came from. It first showed up in 1996, one of the first bolt-on models besides the CE. It came with 2 McCarty humbuckers with the Seymour Duncan rails in the middle. Some of them came with the maple fretboards, some of them came with the rosewood fretboards. The 96 Swamp Ash Special was actually the first time I had ever seen the abalone birds on maple, and I gotta tell you, there's something special about that. Then by 2008 and 2009, they got their own Swamp Ash Special pickups. 2011, it showed back up with 3 narrow field pickups. Very similar to this NF3 now. Then it got the Axe, and we didn't see it until it came back with the SE. This iteration of the Swamp Ash Special is it doesn't have quite the violin carve that the older version did. So if you look at something like this Custom 24, this is a flatter top. You got a little bit more wood up here. I love the different sounds that you get on this guitar, but you don't ever really get true single coil sound. Everything on this is whisper quiet. In positions 2 and 4, the pickups are reverse wound, reverse polarity. Even though you have them like single coils, that they're working like a humbucker together. No matter what position you go to, you're never getting a true single coil at all. You get a tap sound. I'd be interested to hear a version of this with actually split pickups. One of the things I really love about my PRS Studio is that you actually have genuine single coil tones on top of your typical PRS tones. You got a very thick, full, low end to this guitar. This is certainly one of the most diverse PRSs that you'll find. Anything you could possibly want, from funk to jazz to metal. Definitely got some metal in here. I'm glad it emerged from the Mississippi swamps, because the truth is, PRS never does anything half-assed. They always go full swamp ash.
Why don't you smash that subscribe button already?